Get ready. Start. Also, under Regulation 38 1 Clause a resolution plan shall include a statement as to how it has dealt with the interest of all stakeholders, and under subclause 3a resolution plan shall demonstrate that it addresses the cause of default. This regulation also therefore recognizes the vital interest of the erstwhile board of directors in a resolution plan together with the cause of default. It is here that the erstwhile directors can represent to the committee of creditors that the cause of default is not due to the erstwhile management but due to other factors which may be beyond their control, which have led to non-payment of the debt. Therefore, a combined reading of the code as well as the regulations leads to the conclusion that members of the erstwhile board of directors, being vitally interested in resolution plans that may be discussed at meetings of the committee of creditors, must be given a copy of such plans as part of documents that have to be furnished along with the notice of such meetings. As a result of the aforesaid discussion, the arguments of the respondents that committee and participant are used differently, which would lead to the result that resolution plans need not be furnished to the erstwhile members of the board of directors, must be rejected. Equally, the regulations, far from going beyond the code, flesh out the true intention of the code that is achieved by reading the plain language of the sections that have already been adverted to. So far as confidential information is concerned, it is clear that the resolution professional can take an undertaking from members of the erstwhile board of directors, as has been taken in the facts of the present case, to maintain confidentiality. The source of this power is Regulation 7 (2) subclause H of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, Insolvency Professionals Regulations 2016, read with paragraph 21 of the first schedule thereto. This can be in the form of a non-disclosure agreement in which the resolution professional can be indemnified in case information is not kept strictly confidential. The argument on behalf of the Committee of Creditors, based on the proviso to section 21 (2), is also misconceived. The proviso to section 21 (2) clarifies that a director who is also a financial creditor, who is a related party of the creditor debtor, shall not have any right of representation, participation, or voting is a meeting of the Committee of Creditors. Directors simpliciter are not the subject matter of the proviso to section 21 bracket 2 but only directors who related parties of the corporate debtor. It is only such persons who do not have any right of representation, participation, or voting in a meeting of the committee of creditors. Therefore, the contention that a director simplicitor would have the right to get documents as against a director who is a financial creditor is not an argument that is based on the proviso to section 21 bracket 2 correctly read, as it refers only to a financial creditor who is a related party of the corporate debtor. For this reason, this argument also must be rejected. We may also mention in passing that the Bankruptcy Law Committee report of November 2015 stated the code will enable symmetry of information between creditors and debtors. The law must ensure that information that is essential for the insolvency and the bankruptcy resolution process is created and available when it is required. The law must ensure that access to this information is made available to all creditors to the enterprise either directly or through the regulated professional. The law must enable access to this information to third parties who can participate in the resolution process through the regulated professional. Paragraph 2 bracket 7 correctly reflects the reason for section 24 bracket 3 subclause B of the code. We may indicate that the time that has been utilized in these proceedings must be excluded from the period of the resolution process of the corporate debtor as has been held in ArcelorMittal India Private Limited versus Satish Kumar Gupta and others. In each of these cases, the appellants will be given copies of all resolution plans submitted to the COC within a period of 2 weeks from the date of this judgment. The resolution applicant in each of these cases will then convene a meeting of the COC within 2 weeks thereafter, which will include the appellants as participants. The COC will then deliberate on the resolution plans afresh and either reject them or approve of them with the requisite majority, after which the further procedure detailed in the code and the regulations will be followed. For all these reasons, we are of the view that the petition and appeal must be allowed and the NCLAT judgment set aside. Full stop.